Today on Inside Out, we are going to have a conversation on a very important commodity or an item, like I was telling you earlier, whose increase affects every aspect of our lives. But while I leave you guessing, if you recall, yesterday we spent time talking about the damning revelations by the Auditor General of how pupils from kindergarten up until primary school under the school feeding program were served substandard food, mainly due to the inadequate feeding fee and late disbursement of funds to caterers to purchase food items. Well, it looks like the basic school is not the only place with issues, right? While the debate on who first started the free senior high school program rages, there are allegations. Food suppliers and those who supplied food and school uniforms under the school feeding program are owed millions of cedis. The Ranking Member for Parliament's Committee on Education, Peter Nochu-Kotoi, yesterday in an interview with my colleague Ibrahim Al-Hassan, urged government to immediately find funds to settle its indebtedness of 6 billion Ghana cedis, which is being owed to companies, individuals and organizations in relation to free senior high school. Also, you remember the threat by WAEC a couple of weeks ago near the start of BEC owing to government indebtedness, right? Well, it looks like the WASI exams is also likely to soon have its fair share, as a Member of Parliament also alleges government owes over 200 million cedis to WAEC. Clearly, government needs to be up on its toes when it comes to prioritizing the education and these happenings. And definitely, we will keep an eye on them. I just needed to get this off my chest. Now, to the main issue which you see behind me on Inside Out today. Have you seen the price of fuel this week? Have you? Well, over the weekend, COPEC, that is the Chamber of Petroleum Consumers, and the IES, the Institute of Energy Securities, predicted an increase in petroleum prices at the various pumps by up to 5%. Well, most fueling stations are selling a liter of fuel for 15 Ghana cedis. A little over 15 Ghana cedis, with some oil marketing companies selling a liter of super for 16 Ghana cedis per liter. It might also interest you to know that at the beginning of this year, a liter of fuel was not up to 13 Ghana cedis. And so within a space of 6 months, we are seeing an increase of about 3 Ghana cedis in the price of a liter of fuel, and we still have half of the year to go. Don't forget that in 2019, a liter of fuel sold for a little over 5 Ghana cedis. And in just about 5 years, we're recording an increment of 3 Ghana cedis within 6 months, I beg your pardon. What this means is that assuming you drive a car and at the start of the year, you spent 400 Ghana cedis to fill your tank, today you need 550 Ghana cedis to fill the same tank. If you spent 2,000 Ghana cedis a month on fuel at the start of the year 2024, you have to add an extra 500 Ghana cedis for fuel to take you through the month. I am very sure that some of you who don't drive think this is a problem for just car owners. But let me bust your bubble. Public transport unions have already started clamoring for another increase in the price of fares. And this means that you could see your transport fare go up for the second time in this year alone. But the cost of fuel even affects us in ways we cannot imagine with its trickle-down effect. Higher transportation means additional cost to move food produce around the country, which is ultimately borne by who? You. And even me, the final consumer. The gas you use in preparing meals at home is also seeing its price increase at the same time. And who bears the cost? You and me. And even your electricity tariffs could see an upward adjustment as the fuel used to power the thermal plants, not the fuel you used to put in your car though, equally is experiencing a price movement similar to those that we consume. clearly, everyone is not spared when fuel prices are increased. So, the question is, what is accounting for the price increases? And I am sure you keep asking yourself, because I keep asking myself too. Now, the price that you pay for fuel is made up of 3 components: the ex-refinery price, taxes, and marketers' margin or profits. This was after the 2015 government passed the Deregulation Act that allowed oil marketing companies sell directly to consumers and basically scrap subsidies. Meaning, since 2015, you have been paying for the full cost of fuel. The marketer's margin or profits and taxes are usually in a fixed bracket. Hence, they may not change the price you pay so much. The elephant in the room, which is the ex-refinery price, which is the price that the OMCs like GHOne, like Shell and whatnot, gets refined products from their supplies. And so crude and its products are international commodities and are priced in dollars, and that is where the trouble begins. Once the product sells in dollars, the cedi's depreciation against the dollar continuously only means one thing: that the OMCs need more cedis to purchase the same quantity of crude products. But remember, we are practicing a deregulated market where you, the final consumer, pays full cost of the product. So ultimately, you and I will dole out more cedis to pay for that cost for the same fuel. So how do we insulate ourselves from the increasing cost of fuel? Do we all park our cars? But even if we did, the transport unions also want to increase their prices because they also buy fuel, remember. Again, what happened to the Gold for Oil program? Remember last year when prices saw some stability, government spokesperson and even the vice president trumpeted it as a result of the Gold for Oil program. Has it stopped working? What is the status of the program? Now, the last that I heard, the Bank of Ghana governor was suggesting a commercial bank handling the program. Doesn't mean the program has been suspended, because the vice president said it was going to reduce the forex pressure, which clearly was driving up the depreciation of the cedi and affecting all aspects of the economy. What do we do? When fuel prices go up, cost of food goes up, everything goes up. So this is where we are. And it's only the first half of the year. Prices have gone up twice. You can only imagine what will happen for the rest of the half of the year. That will be it for Inside Out.